What is up, everyone? Welcome to the second episode or part two of the Q&A, if you will. Tony, talking timepieces with Tony. Today I'm wearing my Zenith El Primero open heart, best chronograph watch on the market as far as I'm concerned. At least one of them. I'd put this up against a Patek Philippe any day. I would. El Primero, come on, really? Anyway, if you agree with me, cool. If not, cool too. I don't care. We had a lot of questions this week, and if you'd like to participate in the Q&A, all you have to do is leave your question in the comments section below, and it'll be featured on an upcoming Q&A. We did it in two parts this week simply because I just had too many questions. So I'm not going to roll the intro. We never really do anyway these days, but let's just get into it. All right. This is from DJR4840. Tony, here's a question. Why won't Rolex allow their customers to order and wait for their configuration of choice? It's horribly inefficient to try multiple ADs to hopefully see the watch you want in the case, much less if they'll ever get one. I mean, it's a relevant question, but that's just not how Rolex operate. I couldn't tell you why they do it or why they don't do what they do. Rolex are extremely secretive. They just do things. ADs, for the most part, don't generally even know what they're going to get on a monthly basis or a bi-monthly basis whenever they get their shipments. It's kind of like, I think there's going to be a little bit of priority with the bigger ADs, such as Bucherer, because that's owned by Rolex. So if you go to a Bucherer store in Europe, they're probably going to be getting a lot more of the more sought after models than, say, Bindi Jewelers in Glendale, California, or Fink's Jewelers in Franklin, Tennessee, or wherever your AD is. But it's a question I can't answer. But I appreciate it. It's, if any, well, yeah, I wish you could. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? But thanks for your question, man. Next one, wearing watches. Is there a watch that you would sell the bulk of your collection to own? No. There are watches that I definitely want, and I have done that before, where I've sold, some of my watches that I kind of wish I hadn't sold, but to get something else. But then I kind of regretted that, just to get one watch, because I get bored with watches. I still wear a watch, but it's like sometimes you get bored with the watches you have. I love this watch. I wear it. I'll go through periods where I'm wearing one watch. Not I won't wear one watch for like a week straight and nothing else. I come home or I'm doing whatever. I change my watch throughout the day. You know what I mean? But I don't think I would sell the bulk of anything for just one watch. You know what I mean? I would rather just hope that I can afford to buy it one day, whatever that watch may be. But thanks for your question, man. This one comes from Michael Saraceno. What's up, Michael Saraceno? Hey, Tony, happy Friday. What is now Saturday? I've got a question for next week's Q&A. Have you ever found that in your watch collecting journey, the excitement of the hunt for the next timepiece is what is most captivating and can sometimes overshadow a recent purchase? If so, how do you manage and make sure you take the time to smell the roses and really appreciate a new acquisition? I just acquired the Geo, which is Glashütte Original, for those who don't know, or Original is what some people call it. Panamatic Lunar on the Blue Alligator strap. Thanks for all your feedback and taking my questions. And now I'm already on to thinking, how can I get the new Rolex OP Pistachio dial, which probably will take years for me to acquire since I won't go to the gray market. Yeah, we do that. We go and we look for watches and we look for watches, and then we get the watch and we're super stoked. And then all of a sudden we're like going, okay, what's next? That's the ADD thing that we have sometimes, there have been times where if you guys remember, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, even last year and the year before, I was buying so many watches that I just didn't have time to sort of bond with some of the watches I had. And then I'd kind of get rid of them, like some of the Santos I had, Cartier Santos, bought it and then just didn't wear it. And that was it, and you're right. You kind of just have to, and I don't know about the hunts either, you know what I mean? Because I didn't buy pre-owned, and I'll just look, everything I that I really want, I can get, from the AD, and I just pretty much, I'll wait for whatever it is to come in and I buy it. Or if it's Cartier and they have it in stock, I'll buy it. If it's whatever in stock and I buy it, then, yeah. And then sometimes you have to take time to bond with it, and then once you do that, once you build that relationship with your watch, then you really start looking for something else. But buying and then just jumping to the next one, that's kind of what was a mistake kind of on my part. As you guys know, I've slowed down tremendously on my purchasing, but that just has to do with other reasons as well. So, but yeah, bond with your watch first before you start going and buying other watches. I think that's a good idea. All right, man. Thanks. Vahan, hey, happy Friday, Tony. Happy Saturday, dude. Love your content as always. Please don't change anything. Your true fans love your authenticity. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Strangely, I have not been wearing my watches a lot for the past couple of weeks. That's not normal for me. Have you ever gone through that phase? No, not really. I have not worn a watch. I always wear a watch. I've gone through phases where I'm a little bored with watches, and I mean, I'll still always find something to wear. And I keep doing this, but I'm not bored with this watch. But I'm just saying, sometimes you get bored with something. I mean, I have watches I haven't worn in years. I've got a lot of watches, man, but I have watches I just have not worn. And then they just sort of sit on the sideline, I have a daily rotation box, and that's pretty much been sort of the standard. I had a daily rotation box, then I've got a secondary box, a third box, and whatever. And then the bank, watches that are in the bank. But I used to just say, okay, I take one out of my daily rotation box and then put a different one in. And then sometimes I'd flip that one back. But for the most part, my daily rotation box has been the same watches for quite some time now. And I just flip between those, you know what I'm saying? And I do have some in my daily rotation box and that's a 10 slot box that I still don't wear that much at all. So, but, so it's probably a natural thing. It's normal, dude. I don't know about not wearing a watch at all, though. So, but thanks for your question, as always, dude. This is from Nick. Nicto Advine Actual. Sorry, man, if I just butchered that. Love the videos. Thank you. Keep them coming. I'll try. Quick question. When you work out or are doing chore type work, which watch do you wear, or do you wear one at all? I love wearing my tool type watches all the time, but find I worry about scratching them in the gym. I do have a Panerai submersible I wear in the gym and sometimes Casios. Just wondering your thoughts on this. I've seen posts of guys wearing full gold Rolexes in the gym, saying it's a sports watch, so why not? Maybe they're Rockefellers, but I'm just a little feller. Awesome, man. I wouldn't wear a solid gold watch to the gym. I used to go to the gym, many, many, many years ago until my back got broken, when I'm doing chores or whatever it is that I have to do, I'll wear whatever watch I want, you know what I mean? And since I'm not at the gym, but if I was at the gym, I'd probably wear a Swatch or, maybe my Zodiac. But yeah, you can wear whatever you want, just as long as you're not banging it around, you know what I mean? And, I wouldn't wear anything with a leather strap, because the sweat and all the gook and whatever. If you wear something with a rubber strap, you're probably better off. Or a bracelet, just as long as you wash it when you get home, Thanks a lot, dude. Appreciate your question. I love watches 81. Hey, Tony, great Q&A. I just bought a Manhattan 37 burgundy dial. Looks awesome. Thoughts about man watches? Cheers. They look similar to the 5711 Nautilus, right? The integrated bracelet and the sort of that oval type, I say oval case shape, but I think they're cool. They have the ETA, it's a manual wind watch, right? Hand wound. It's not automatic, and it's got an ETA 7001. Price point about $1,300, I think. They look nice. They do look cool. Would I pick one up? I don't know. I think I might, but I don't know enough about the brand, but I have seen them, and so I do think they're cool looking though. So yeah, thanks for your question, man. Next one comes from Rick B6365. Great intro, Tony. Thanks, man. Other than Nomos, what German brands would you recommend in a similar price point? I'm more into tool watches, but open to any suggestions. Thanks. Well, there's Zin. the 104 STSA. I had one of those. I love that watch. I actually sold it. I had no intention of selling it because that was my daily wear. I mean, actually, that was one watch I just consistently wore all the time. But then a buddy of mine who owns a jewelry store asked me, he goes, "Hey man, do you have that Zune? Do you want to sell it?" I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. So he gave me a price on it, and I just gave it to him for, for that. But, Zen, you've got Hanhart, the chronographs, they're probably pretty cool. Don't know too much about that brand, but I have seen them. The Urban Gentry really loves that brand, so I would look at them if I saw one, if I could try one on and wear it, you know what I mean? And then another brand would be like Youngins, they're another German brand. They're very similar to Nomos. However, Youngins came out first before Nomos did. And they're very Bauhaus. The Max Bill is a cool watch. I had one of those. Gave it to one of my viewers. And it's I mean, as far as that goes, that's about all I know. There's like Mule Glashute, but I don't know enough about that brand either. And but check them out. Just so there are plenty of German brands out there that are cool. But I appreciate your question, man. Next one comes from Robert Blaney 5033. I'm trying to decide between the Christopher Ward Bel Canto and their new Loco. Any thoughts between the two? I like the chime on the Bel Canto, but also like the 144-hour power reserve on the manual wind Loco. I also can't decide the one I like the looks of the best. I would go with a Bel Canto, man. If I had to pick one, I'm not a big Christopher Ward fan, but if I was gonna get one, I'd get the Bel Canto. The Loco, there was something about it. I mentioned in a previous video, and I couldn't pinpoint it, and then I figured it out what it was after I had put the video up. And what it is, I mean, I think aesthetically it's a nice watch, but I think the case, because you got like a Zenith Defy Skyline type case there, or if you want to call it, AP integrated or whatever the case is, but the movement and what's inside it does not fit what the case is. That to me, it doesn't. I mean, to you, it might, and to a lot of people, it probably does. But for me, I'm just so used to seeing that style of watch with that integrated bracelet, the octagonal bezel or shape of the case, with an actual just a regular dial on regular hands, no super complicated stuff going on there. And I think that, even though the Loco is pretty cool looking, if they put that in a different case, I think it would be a much better watch, and it would look a lot better, aesthetically anyway. But if I had to get one, I'd get the Bel Canto. I think that's pretty cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. At SC-RC4RS. I absolutely love your channel and appreciate the work you put into making it possible. Thanks. I really appreciate that. What is your opinion on heavily jeweled Rolex? I'm talking about specifically the off-catalog items. I see these sometimes in the Rolex CPO section of my AD, GMT Master with diamonds all over the dial, rubies and sapphires, etc. I doubt I could pull off a watch like that, but I do think they look beautiful. Just wondering what your take is on it. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't pull it off. I wouldn't want to, man. I'm so low key on everything I do. I wouldn't even comprehend wearing a watch like that. Or the rainbow, Daytona is pretty cool. If I had one, I would just keep it and wear it inside. I'd never wear it out. Not because of the danger factor of getting jacked, just because the pretentiousness of that watch and well, look at me, I don't live in Daytona Beach. But yeah, the GMT Master 2, I mean, I've seen them, they're cool. I mean, they're for some people, they're not for me, but I appreciate your question, man. Time Bomb. Hey, Tony, recently sold my Zenith Defy Skyline white dial to help pay for my Rolex Submariner 124060. I often find myself missing the Zenith, even though I love my sub. Have you ever sold a watch only to regret selling it later? Yes, absolutely. I've sold plenty of watches that I kind of wish I hadn't, but one of the biggest ones, and I've said this before, that I wish I didn't sell, was my Vacheron Constantin Patrimony. You know what I mean? It was just so beautiful, and it was rose gold, and it had the ivory dial. It was 40 millimeter. It just felt like it wore a little bit bigger. It needed a service, and I was like, I could let it go, and I did, and I wish I didn't. I really wish I didn't. And I actually had the Defy Skyline skeleton. I got rid of that too, and as much as I don't regret selling that as much, I love the watch and everything, but it was a little too flashy for me. You know what I mean? Again, that flash factor. Um, but yeah, but you can always get a Zenith. You can't always get a sub. I mean, you can on the secondary, but if you're buying from the AD, it's more difficult. But yeah, it happens, man. It's part of the journey. It's all part of it, and you just gotta, you know, not really try to regret anything you do. You know what I mean? Good decision, bad decision. It's the decision you made. You know what I mean? So, thanks for your question, Crazy Joe Davola. Hey, man. Hey, Crazy Joe. Crazy underscore Joe underscore Davola. Your videos always help me unwind at the start of the weekend. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Question: does it look like the hands and markers on the current GMTs are slightly larger than on the current Submariners? It kind of looks like it to me, or maybe I'm just losing my mind again. Thanks. I don't know. I don't have the 124060 anymore, but I have the 14060M, but I do have the GMT Master 2. I've never compared the two, even when I had both of them. If any of you guys know, why don't you chime in, leave your comments below, and tell me. We all want to know at this point now, don't we? Thanks for your question, crazy underscore Joe underscore Davola. Next one, Raphael Oliva 6425. Hey Tony, love the back roll. It is my favorite Rolex. Yeah, it's like one of mine too, or it is pretty much my favorite. Been on the list for 18 months. I just can't bring myself to pay the gray market markup on this piece. Have you heard anything from your sources if availability is getting any better? 2 thumbs up from the 305. 305, that would be Florida. I'm guessing. I haven't heard anything about the availability on those, but I do know that if your AD, your sales rep, it depends where you get it, you know what I mean? If you have a good relationship with them, it's not even the spend history, I mean, I literally know one person at least that got their second Rolex as a GMT Master 2. There was no major spend history there whatsoever, and he got it. So, you just have to follow up, do that whole thing, but I appreciate it, dude. Sean Miller. Hey, Sean Miller, what's happening, dude? Mr. Tony, happy Friday. Happy Saturday, dude. Just saw the new Seyo Gene Kranz reissue. Looks pretty cool. What are your thoughts? I don't know too much about Seikos, man. There's so many Seyo fans out there that, love that. And Seyo makes so many different watches. I really can't tell you the difference between one or another. You know what I'm saying? I did look at it though. And I thought it was pretty cool. I've had Seikos in the past. I've had the 007. It was the 007. Oh shoot, what was it called? With that jangly Jubilee bracelet, Pepsi style bezel. Had a couple of those. They were fun. They were cool. They look cool, man. Thanks for your question, Sean. Andrew Prez 777. Hi Tony, what do you think of the 2 IWC Top Gun Lake Tahoe watches, the 44 and the 41 models? Do you think any of them are worth the price? The white on them just draws me, and I think one of them might be my next purchase. Well, I think they're kind of cool. I mean, I wouldn't buy one, but I obviously, as you know, IWC make great watches. They're a great company. They make great pilot watches. They make chronographs, obviously, and yeah. But as far as the price point, the IWC are kind of a little all over the place with their pricing, I think. But I don't know the prices on those. I didn't look, but I'm gonna assume around 10, maybe 12 at best. I don't know. I could be wrong. But, I always say this, no matter the price, generally, if you really love the watch, and that's the retail price of what, that brand is selling it for, but you really love the watch and you can afford to buy the watch, then buy the watch. You know what I mean? It's like the Ingenieur, for instance, man, I think that's overpriced for what they have. And I think, so I wouldn't ever buy that watch. If it was at a different price point, I would buy the watch. But if I really loved that watch, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, yeah, that's the watch I want, and I'll buy it at that price point. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make that decision if you're willing to spend the money regardless of what the price is of the watch, because I'm going to do a video on it. But say, for instance, I'm going to do a video, I think probably my Rolex Tiffany blue turquoise versus the 5711 Patek Philippe Tiffany, you know, and put that like the value versus what the watch is. You know what I'm saying? And it's not comparing the two as sense as horology wise, but you know, again, if you were going to spend $1.5 million on a Patek, or you know, $20,000 on an OP, you know, what would you buy? But if you really love it and you have the money, I don't know, I'm trailing off on this, but buy what you love. If you can afford it and you love the watch, just do it. Don't even think about the secondary value on it, because it's never going to retain what the price is of that watch new. On that note, I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.